Until the 1832 Anatomy Act, the stealing of bodies for dissection by medical students was extremely common throughout Scotland and the rest of the UK. The perpetrators were known as body snatchers, or sometimes resurrectionists. Originally, the source of bodies for dissection was mainly from the gallows and also from the poorhouses. Whereas the medical profession became more formalised, a much larger demand for bodies, and as a result, the lecturers and the students themselves started to steal the bodies. There was a general belief that the day of judgment a perfect body should go to heaven. As a result, safeguards were taken. At first, methods such as locking gates and raising the height of the cemetery walls were employed. These proved to be of little use. So instead, watchtowers and guardhouses were constructed. The simplest provided only shelter from the rain, whilst the most splendid had seating, fire for heat, and all-round windows to view without having to exit. Often they were armed, either with cudgels or sometimes with guns. In fact, in some cases they would fire off the gun at regular intervals. Burns's uncle and his nephew were paid as guards at St Columba's Church in Sturton. Less honest guards could be bribed, of course, with money and with alcohol. The very wealthy could have crypts or walled enclosures, such as mausoleums. Also, there were enclosures without a roof, but would have metal bars running across. Really, the main crime was the violating the sepulchre of the dead. However, the greater punishment often was the fury of the mob for anybody who was caught stealing bodies. Various methods were tried to deter the body snatchers, such as the soil going back into the grave was mixed with sticks and with other materials, making it difficult to dig. Also, the head end of the coffin is usually where the body was extracted. So in some cases, the width of the grave was reduced so that the head end was beneath undug earth, making it much more difficult. Selling bodies to the medical schools was very lucrative, and this resulted in the problem being a very large one, making it worthwhile for so many churches to build these guard houses and watchtowers. However, in Scotland, an invention was introduced known as the Mortsafe. Mortsafes took many forms, but essentially they're either metal cages or metal enclosures, which would prevent any access to the coffin for as long as was necessary. These could usually be rented from the church itself. After 1832, these buildings were either abandoned or converted to other uses, such as for storage or for the church session meetings and so on.